Happy Saturday, everybody. She's back. This is version 2. Hopefully this one works out a lot better. I made some improvements that we will now go over. So, actually, I'm going to take a step back and explain why version 2 is here. See all these dudes? This is from version 1. See all that stuff? Yeah, it's just apparently all of them were doing that and just making a lot of racket. It's eating up the inside of the cylinders. Anyways, long story short, new block, a Texid this time, stock bore, stock sized pistons. So stock sized pistons, and they're hyper eutectic, so they're nothing fancy forged. Forged ones are louder. Hyper eutectic, they seal a lot better. You can have a lot tighter tolerances. So it's the stock stuff basically, and they have coatings on the side skirts and the piston surface area. So basically same motor, but they're flat top pistons, which I think those were also. So I should be really close to whatever it was tuned for, because those are just bored 20 over flat top pistons, and I have stock bore flat top pistons in there now. And it's a Texid block, so that should be good for assuming everything was assembled correctly and nobody does anything crazy for it. It should last forever. So nothing was done to the heads except for put back on. They assure me that there's no head issues. Whatever I heard that I thought was a valve train issue, they say it was piston slap. I don't know, sure sounded like valve train to me, but hey, I'm not the engine builder. I pay them to build the engine. And so they did the warranty work for me, even though I'm really not happy about having to buy parts and give it to them. But in all fairness, to give them the full measure of grace that I would want, I did bring them a bunch of buckets of parts and say, hey, make me a motor out of this. So it's fair. I think it's fair. It kind of washes out. This motor, I'm going to be happy if this motor runs good. Stock rebuild, Boss 302 rods, of course, same rods, same crank, new pistons, and stock heads. Basically a 99 Cobra motor with a Mark 1 intake. Yeah, so that's it. I cleaned up a lot of this wiring and stuff back here. You can't really tell, but that's kind of the point. As I mentioned, maybe in some other videos, I fixed, see the coolant stuff? See this neck? This neck is now higher than all the rest of the system. So whenever I go to fill it, I won't have, it can at least, the bubbles can escape. It's hard enough getting air out of these systems without having the neck below where you want it to be. So while I was able to get all the air out last time, it was a bear. This way, I don't have to have any fancy contraptions. I just fill it and it should be good to go. I did change this fuel pressure regulator. I think the old one was I didn't change the regulator, I changed the mount. I made a new mount. It's flexible, so it can wiggle a little bit. So it's thinner sheet metal, and there's a little bit more slack in these lines. I think that was the reason why I had a burst line. Also the header, I clearanced the header, which involved a hammer, otherwise known as a universal wrench. So I massaged a little dent in the side of one of the tubes, and now that clears the steering wheel shaft, input shaft, perfectly. So that's awesome. The 1/4 inch holes that I drilled to align the K-member, that worked way better than the 1/8 inch holes I had last time. Let's see, what else? Basically just fixing all of while I had the motor out, I took care of all the things that always annoyed me. So sometimes these can get water back here, and then that can get in the coil packs. So I put these rubber, it's like a rubber tube with a slit at the bottom. So there's no way water can get in there now because it's basically a big, giant 4-inch grommet for the wires. Let's see, new idler pulley. It was making some noise. That was not helping things. It was contributing to some of the paranoia. Because of my new mount, I did have to clearance the hood a little bit. And if you haven't noticed, clearancing is it's a more professional word for cutting a hole in something or bashing it with a hammer until the thing you want to fit actually does fit. You may be wondering, though, why this thing is on the ground and not running right now. Well, there's your answer. That post over there was not lifting as much as I wanted it to. And I got to looking around, I bled it, and I was like, oh, okay, there's no air in it. And then I looked up, and then I saw that my roof was bleeding. That is automatic transmission fluid, which means I have a burst line up there, which means I have to replace it. I want to get this guy up in the air again. So, what have I left to do? I have to put the rest of the exhaust on and hook up the clutch. Do I need any of that to start the car? No, I don't. So, I might just do an open header thing once I might fire it up with open headers once I fill her up with some H2O. So, we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? She lives again! Oh, wow, sorry about that. Yeah, she's alive. Open headers, because the lift situation, we're looking good. Good oil pressure, good battery, coolant's just fine. Just gonna let her heat up. What I'll do. All right. Well, that's the update, boys and girls. Hopefully the motor's good and we can get back to doing body work, getting all these lines clean, and get this monkey painted for before the end of summer. I mean, that's the goal, really. Just a few more weeks. Anyhow, that's that. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Take care of one another.